Yo, what's going on? It's Gary here, and this is the second video of the getting a high authority outreach link from scratch over the shoulder. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to be talking specifically about negotiating. Now, negotiating is probably the most important part of actually doing outreach. Many people can send the emails, but when it comes to talking with site owners and saying the right things to get those placements, there's so many ways conversations can go, and it's one of the most difficult things for a lot of people. And it's the bit that I probably get the most questions about is what is it you actually say to people when they reply back to you in order to get those placements. So this is something that's taken me a long time to master and become good at. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some of the key things that I keep in mind when I'm talking to people and when I'm making those negotiations, which is going to help you a huge amount for your own outreach tactics. So yeah, I'm just going to dive in here and just kind of show you. So first of all, we actually got a few responses back from that initial outreach that we did in the last video, so that's great. We're going to be replying to them in this video, and what I'll also do in the next part of the video is I'll show you some more different types of examples you can get back and how I would actually respond to those in real life. But first of all, let me get the basics down and tell you the theory behind what you should be doing to actually do this outreach. So yeah, so this is the stuff that we're trying to get. We're trying to get a link for Life Goals Mag, and we're trying to get the anchor text this. So these are the two main rules that I would say you should really keep in mind when you're actually doing the outreach. Okay, so you want to imagine that you're a really sleazy car salesman. Okay, you want to pretend like everything's super cutthroat and you're only here for one purpose. Okay, what I see too many people do when they're outreaching is they're trying, to have too many conversations. They end up talking about things that are just completely unrelated to the point of why you're doing the outreach. Okay, people outreach and think that talking about somebody's dog is going to help them get a link. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Talking about someone's dog does not help you get a link. What you need to do is talk to them about their website, talk to them about their guidelines, and talk about how you can get a placement on their site. Okay, so be cutthroat. So if somebody says no, or if somebody is really difficult to talk to and work with, there's no point in just discussing it any further with them. Just cut them off, don't reply to them, and just move on to the next person. The whole goal of this is to outreach to as many good plausible candidates as possible and get from A to B. And the A to B goal is get your placement links. Okay, so be cutthroat. Don't be shy about saying no to someone. Don't be shy about not replying to someone. Just be willing to go forward and move to the next candidate at every opportunity. All right. And as I said, that falls onto my second point. Keep your goal in mind. Okay, so if your goal is to get a free guest post placement on a site, and people start coming back with other opportunities or other things, just keep that in mind. Be cutthroat, be willing to say no to that, and just focus on the final sale. Okay, at the end of the day, this is like sales. We are just trying to get placements here. We're just trying to get a placement for our site on somebody else's website. Okay, so that's it. Just keep that in mind. Be cutthroat, be willing just to move forward, be willing to move past anyone else. If you're not going to get your link from, maybe 100 outreach because they were all crap responses, well, that's fine. Do another 100. Don't be afraid to, settle with someone who's given you some opportunity when it's just not good enough, right? You want to take something and you want to just outreach to as many people as you possibly can and take something only when it feels right and when it's the right perfect opportunity for you. Okay, so that's my main things to keep in mind throughout all of this, and that's what's going to really fund what it is that you're actually doing when you're doing this outreach here. Okay, so I'm going to dive in and I'm just going to kind of show you. So these are the responses we got. The first one we got back was Scott Jeffrey. When we asked for a guest post, he says, no, we never accepted them. We don't accept them. All right, so in this case, the guy said, no, there's no point in replying saying, well, could you make an exception? Could you do this? Could you do that? The guy said, no, there's no point, okay? You're just going to waste your time talking to this guy. There's a very low chance that this guy will actually place anything on his site. So you're as well just leaving it and moving on, okay? So I'll just archive this straight away. The next one, Peter Transferman, yes, still accepting them. There we go. So look, relevant to personal development. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're wanting to get an article placement about, right? Health, well-being, creativity, careers, whatever. Okay. Here's the website, and he's got information here, I presume, on the website about what the site's about. There we go. That's what the site's about. There's all the writers. Fantastic. Cool. So this could be a perfect placement. And here's the article is telling you here typically the word count of what he wants the articles to come in. and can include up to 3 purely informational links to your third-party sites. There we go. So this guy is literally giving us an opportunity right in front of our hands to get a placement with him. Okay, so we're going to reply to that in a second. I'm just going to go through the rest and just kind of talk about them, and then we'll send the replies to all the ones that said yes. All right, so dear Mr. Monser, we're not currently accepting any guest posts, so he's not accepting them. Cool. Buzzle, let's see. Hello, thank you for contacting us. Would you like a guest post in 65 websites? Wow. It's free to post content, more to forward backlinks. Cool. Alright, so there must be some sort of, what they're saying here is they must have some sort of online system for placing websites, for placing articles on a bunch of websites. Now, I'm not really a big fan of this kind of link farm idea, or putting articles in where it's going to be shared all over these 65 sites, or it's almost like a kind of network he's got going, and it's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for something a bit more personal, someone who's got a really nice blog, and we're just kind of getting a really unique opportunity. These are the kind of links that only we'll be able to get, and other people who are able to get these free links off Buzzle and just signing up are not going to be able to get, because we're doing that outreach in those discussions. So I would say with this one, I'll probably just ignore that one, but this could be an opportunity if this is something you're happy with. At the end of the day, to some people, a link's just a link, so it would be fine. So this is another one. Yes, we do accept guest posts. I'm CCing my colleague Jana or an editorial team here. All right, cool. So she's CC'd in our editorial team, and what we can actually do is reply to these guys and talk about getting a placement. Okay, so there we go. So from 20 emails, I didn't even follow up with any of them. It's been a couple of weeks. I've just kind of let them sit. From 20 emails, which is not much at all. If you were using software, sending 20 emails would take you 10 minutes. It's super easy. From us sending 20 emails, we've got 2 people, and the third, which we're not going to bother with, that is actually a really good placement opportunity, right? These sites are relevant to the site that we're placing. We're trying to get something for Life Goals Mag here. We've got something about thinking big, and another one about something to do with the mind, right? It's all to do with the same topic. And they're saying here that they're accepting placements inside those niches, okay? Now, for this series, all I'm going to be doing is building one link, okay? But these sites fit the metric requirements we want, and they're on good sites, good relevant sites, as I've said. So what I'm going to show you here is what I would do next with these people to move them along the funnel. You notice how the guys that said no, I've just completely ignored. I'm not talking to them. These guys, I'm going to talk more about moving down the funnel with them, okay? So let's go to Peter, the first guy. All right, so perfect. So what I'm going to do is just hit reply. Now, what you can do is you can kind of use templates to do all this, but I'm just going to write it out from scratch just to show you exactly what I would say back here. I'd say, hi Peter, thank you for getting back to me. It's great to hear that you still accept placements. I'd be interested in potentially sharing the following title with you. Is this something that you'd accept for your site? Regards, Gary. All right. Now, what am I saying there? Okay, so this is a very simple reply, but what you're actually doing here is you're getting the site to agree to place the article before they've even placed it. Okay, so it's like a reverse psychology thing. Sometimes what will happen is if you just send an article off at this point, what will happen is sometimes the site will be like, oh, we don't like it, we're not accepting it, right? But if you say, I'm writing something like this, will you accept that? Even if you've got that article written or you're ready to send it, if you do that, they're going to say, yes, I accept that article. And what they're basically putting in their mind is that they're going to accept that and put that up on their website, okay? Before they've even started it, right? The article could even be rubbish, and potentially they're going to put it on because they've agreed, right? So there's that subconscious agreement there, and that's what you're doing. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch a title. This is one I wrote earlier, how validation can be a great tool to help you learn new things. It's related to the website that we're trying to get a link for, and boom, we'll just put that in there. I look forward to hearing from you. So there we go. We just pitch that title. It took us 2 minutes. And we're going to send that off to Peter now and wait for him to get back. Hopefully he'll get back in the next few days. All right. Now I'm going to copy this email because we're going to send a similar one to the next person. So I'm just going to send that off to Peter. And the next one is Wendy. All right. So yes, we do accept them. Perfect. So all I'm going to come in here is say, hi, Jana. and Oren. That's the people she's CC'd in. Oren, sorry. Orion. There we go. Thank you for getting back to me. Alright, cool. So in this case, I'm just going to pitch the same title. If you were doing this in the mass scale, you'd probably want to use a different title. You definitely want to use a different article if they both get back to you. But there we go. So they're saying they accept guest post too. I'm going to pitch the exact same thing back to them and hit send. Awesome. So from 20 emails, we've got 2 really good prospects. We have a third which we're leaving. With 2 really, really good prospects without any following up. Alright. And we've replied back to them now, offering them a title. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a writer to write an article, and I'm going to get that ready for the next part of this video, because when they respond, we're going to send off that article. We're going to try and get that placed. I'm also going to show you some of the different ways, some of the different responses that you might get that might be a bit difficult for you, and just going to talk about maybe some of those solutions, okay, in the next part of this video. So I hope that made sense, and we'll see you in the next part. Bye bye. Second part of this video, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive in. I've got an article written for that successful person that we spoke to, and they actually got back to us. So they basically got back and said, yes, sure thing, Gary. So this guy here is happy to place the article that was suggested with this title. So what I did is I went out and I've got that article written, and you can see that here. How validation can be a great tool to help you learn new things. And I've actually linked that inside the article. Okay, so all this guy has to do is he has to come in and he has to basically copy and paste this article onto his website. You're making it super easy for him to do this. And I've also added another authority link in there as well, okay? So I'm actually just going to share this Google Docs link. This is editable by anyone. And I'm just going to come in. I'm just going to say, hi Peter, thank you for getting back to me. I have written the following article. Alright, just paste in that URL. If you could place your website and shoot me over the URL, then that would be awesome. Okay, so I will not say Wilson. So just say kind regards Gary, and then I'll just leave that as a link in there. Now, one other trick that I like to do here, just to kind of get them to push over the edge, is you can say something along the lines of, I'll share it with my social accounts when you put it live. So that just adds a little bit of extra, just to kind of say, look, once you put this up, I'm going to share it. So you're going to essentially offer him some more value by bringing traffic to his site, okay? So there we go, really easy, very simple. Peter should put this up now. There's a very high chance with the way he's been responding that he's going to actually place this in his site. And that was a really, really simple and easy process that we had to go down there to get that one really high authoritative link. All right. So the other person got back to us, Wendy. She says something, I'm moving on from Think Big. Okay. So this was this other person that told us to CC on and speak to other people. I'm not going to bother replying to this because we've got one prospect now. If we're having issues, then I'll go back and I'll get more candidates for us to outreach to, and I'll just go through the full process again. But that's the basic process of A to B, how you actually go through all of this and how we negotiate. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this little file here, and this is some of the other responses that you're often going to get when you're negotiating. These are the most common ones, so I'm just going to kind of run you through how I deal with all these. One of them is, we'll accept guest posts in the future, so not now but later on. So the only reason I would ever want to reply to this is if the site was like a super good placement opportunity and there was like a valid reason as to why they weren't accepting the placements now. Sometimes sites, they accept placements maybe at seasonal times or for certain posts at certain times of the year. So that's why they might say that to you. It's not common, but sometimes going to happen. What you're going to do there is you're going to just ignore it if it's an okay site, or if it's a really good site, you might want to note it down in your calendar and re-outreach to those guys at the time that it makes sense to. The next one is we charge extra placement. This is quite a common response where sites actually just charge for the placements. It's totally up to you whether you want to pay for links. But again, all you have to do in those cases if you're going to is negotiate the price and try and get the prices down as much as possible. Feel free to upload your article here. This is common as well. So Again, like when in the last one we saw the, there was a site Buzzle which had like 65 sites. I maybe wouldn't want to upload my article to that kind of site. However, if you've got maybe, a little blog that's allowing people to upload stuff, or they maybe give you a WordPress login, that could be fine too. You just have to go and put the effort in to go and upload it. Sometimes it won't actually be the site owner that uploads the stuff. You need to apply to be a writer with us. This is common as well. Usually on like higher authority blogs, sometimes what they'll ask you to do is write in and basically give a sort of CV or whatever, and they'll ask you to fill out a bunch of questions. Sometimes they've got like a questionnaire sheet. You just to fill that out, and then you apply to be a writer. And the good thing about doing that is you can place like lots and lots of articles on that single site if you get the writer application accepted, and it does set you as quite a good standard if you're able to write for different places. So that can actually be really good, but it's going to take you a bit more time to do that. Again, I would only be doing that if it's a really good site, an opportunity. Please speak to so-and-so, I'll CC them in. So that was like in the previous one with Wendy. Usually when that happens and somebody CCs someone in, they're kind of passing it off, and it's not normally going to be easy to get a placement. So I would normally say with those ones, unless the site's really good or it's a really relevant placement or you're really desperate, don't really bother following up with the guys like I did in the previous video. It's just kind of best to leave those ones, because chances are you're not going to have much success if they're CCing in other people. It's usually just speaking to, someone's PA or whatever, and they don't actually know about the policies on the site. So the chances of actually getting through and getting a placement with those kinds of responses is going to be hard, okay? So that's kind of all the scenarios there that you could possibly encounter. That's how I deal with them. Notice how I'm really cutthroat, really down the line, and just trying to keep things for a very straight and narrow process to get the end result, okay? And that's really what we're focused on here. And with this, we've outreached to 20 people. We've got one guy who's really, really good. We've just narrowed in on that. We've not spent a lot of time talking to lots of people and replying to lots of people. We've just narrowed in on the guy that was a really, really good response, and hopefully we're going to get that placement. So in the next video, we'll bring that up. Hopefully that'll be the placement we get. If not, I'll be doing some more negotiations and trying to get a placement, just using the exact same process I've showed you in this video and the last video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video and we can see how we got on there.